So, Nick, we have great new functionality where we've integrated Clarity Session Replay into Blue Triangle. Tell us about kind of what the goal was with that.
Well, Session Replay has always been an adjacent platform for Blue Triangle where it's been helpful to be able to triage and maybe troubleshoot some visual indicators that we're seeing inside our data. However, it's kind of its own independent market that goes after a different angle of user experience. And so we have never directly worked on a session replay feature. As a result, the opportunity to be able to integrate with Microsoft Clarity became advantageous for us, and so we decided to create our own integration that's directly in the portal. And so that direct portal integration with Microsoft Clarity is giving us the opportunity to visually represent what's happening for our customers as we see these technical indicators inside the data.
Well, sounds good. Why don't you show us what it looks like, and then I'll ask a few more questions as we go through.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the core part of our platform is all about starting with the opportunity that we see inside improving the experience. And I'm going to skip over that and gloss into this other aspect of it, which is where we call the so what data. All right, we already have this opportunity. We know there's something that's really important for us. Let's dive into the data and let's figure it out. Now, when we see inside the data that there's an indicator like what we see here, we can scroll down to the specific session where we see Microsoft Clarity. So here you see just our own Blue Triangle website where we're clicking around, we're seeing exactly what's going on, we're scrolling, we're trying to find out, we're moving our mouse, and you're now able to see exactly what this session did, and you're able to understand all of that technical detail that we have inside Blue Triangle classically. Here on the left, down here in the waterfall, but you can now contextualize that and be able to understand a little bit more what's going on inside those specifics. So from here, what we can do then is also open up all of the Clarity information to be able to understand exactly what the session is, the location, the user intent. In this case, I'm being marked on a high intent. My entry page, exit URL. I can even look at my AI results to be able to understand that the user navigated to multiple pages, starting from home page, exploring sections like conversion rate curve and different use cases. So in this case, we have a highly engaged user that goes all the way to schedule a demo, and we can see exactly what happened in their session to create that success criteria. So here right now we're looking through the partners, and we can see Clarity, of course, and this is where we schedule a demo and have a good customer journey. Now, we might not always find that. We might find that some of the users that hit these problems that we've identified at the helm of this ended up having a problem that we need to go triage and find out exactly what's happened inside a visual indicator. Now, this is session to session, but something else that we can do here, Chuck, that's really cool is we can actually take a look at the errors and understand all of the different errors that are happening. In this case, we have a lot of CSP violations, some XHR, those are the important ones, and some reference errors. So inside the XHR errors, maybe I want to dive in and understand that something's happening. Maybe I dive into this chat error, and then from there, this chat error is helping me understand exactly where it's coming from, and I can even get to the individual sessions that hit the error. So now I can click right back over to the session replay link that I was at before and figure out exactly what that session looks like going from error into that session replay. So a lot of opportunity for that triage data that's allowing us to really wrap up the visual indicators inside that user experience.
So to summarize, it's when a client identifies a problem, some sort of problem, pattern, something that seems amiss, they can now go look into individual sessions, see exactly where, say, the user encountered an error or got hung up or encountered some sort of friction to help diagnose. So it kind of works in companion with all of our other diagnosis tools and a root problem to root out the problem underneath. Would that be an accurate way to think of it?
Yeah, and I think this is more that session-to-session understanding once you've identified the problem already. You're not finding the problems with clarity, and that's what session replay tools across the industry have always struggled with, is really helping you get into that specifics. So you can dive into a specific session all you want. You can click around, but how do you successfully figure out what sessions you need to be watching, because I can't watch all of them. I mean, when you think about it, if I have a million hits that are on average 10 seconds long, then all of a sudden that's 10 million seconds. That's going to take me all year to watch, Chuck. So I can't do that. So that's for a single day of data potentially. These numbers add up so fast. So how do I make sure that I'm using the right sessions to be able to create my understanding? Well, that gets back to the core Blue Triangle message, where we start at the top talking about revenue opportunity, figuring out what part of the conversion curve we want to focus on, and then take a look at a few of those sessions, because those session summaries might help us figure out why the conversion curve has a specific problem. So a little bit different than how you summarized it, but very similar.
Gotcha. So you start with the macro, and then you can go now to the micro.
Exactly.
And not have to leave our platform to do so.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Awesome. If somebody is interested in this, how do they go about getting it? If they are a Clarity user already or not?
Well, if they're a Clarity user, all they have to do is come approach Blue Triangle and say, I need to add Blue Triangle to my Clarity. And then they're going to be able to install very quickly, about few hour turnaround. We can have this thing up and running and fully instrumented for Blue Triangle to then include Clarity inside the portal. If you're an existing Blue Triangle customer and you want to add this feature and functionality, all you have to do is work with your customer success team, identify your Clarity project, and get Clarity online on the front end of your website. Once we have the project ID, everything lights up.
And perhaps best of all, Nick, the Clarity is a no-cost solution, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, which is really incredible. Microsoft is using Clarity as a project to be able to understand a lot of what's going on in user experience, similar to the way Google's doing Core Web Vitals, honestly. Is the way they've kind of gone to market with this platform, so it can be free.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing this, and excited to see how customers start using this new functionality.
Yeah, I am too. And request a demo if you need one, just like this session did right here.